Welcome to the brand new Mercedes G500. Let's go for a drive and see what it's all about, because it's actually quite different from the previous model. So the previous G500 had a 4-litre V8 in there. Now you only get the V8 in the G63. This actually has a more powerful engine than the old G500 4-litre V8 had, even though it's only got a 3-litre 6-cylinder. So the difference in power between this G500 and the G63 is around 130-140 horsepower. So that is quite a sizable difference. Also, another little side point is that everyone goes, oh, but it's not got the V8, so you're missing the soundtrack. This actually sounds quite nice. If I drop a cog, that sounds good. Turbocharged 6-cylinder, it sounds good. Having driven the both of them, this feels much smoother to drive than the G63, which feels it wants to jump up and go and launch you everywhere, and it throws you around a lot more as well. So if comfort is important to you, then this is the better car. Partly because the wheels are smaller and therefore you have bigger tyres, and also you can now get this car with AMG's active ride control system, which changes the stiffness of the damping and the anti-roll bars, which make this a much smoother car to drive. Unfortunately, this press car doesn't have that option, so I can't tell you if it's any good or not. So there's a whole load of other small little tweaks that have been changed to the new model over the previous model. Things that we've actually come to expect in other cars, things like keyless entry, things like wireless phone charging, heated and cooled climate controlled cup holders, which Merc have been doing for years, but they've finally put it in the G-Class. And so all of those tiny little tweaks add up to a car that feels a lot more refined, a lot more competent on the road, and it does feel like a new model, even though it doesn't really look like one on the outside. So I suppose the question is, would I buy one? Should you buy one? Or should you just go and get the G63 instead? Well, it's a fair chunk more money, the G63. I'm not sure I would get the 63 over this. Aside from bragging rights, I actually prefer the drive of this car. I think it's that little bit more comfortable. So let's park up and have a little walk around the outside of this car and see what's new. Ambient lighting is about to go on. This is, if you are under the age of 30, the only reason why you want to buy a Mercedes-Benz. Admit it. I mean, it does look good. I have to admit, the ambient lighting, Mercedes do it better than anyone else. So you may notice you've still got to slam the doors, but that's part of the G-Wagon charm, I suppose. Let's have a little look around on the outside. So very slight differences to the front bumper. These grills, you may notice, are different. On the 63 they're slatted, just like on the new 911 facelift. Funny that. What else is different? Wheel designs are different. These are the 20-inch wheels. On the 63 you get a 22. What else? Keyless entry. So unlocks it, put your hand in there, lock it, touch that, and it's locked. Unlock it, there you go. Nice and simple. Round the back, very slight differences to these vents here. This looks slightly different to me as well. The grip tape on there. Tow bar. What else? I'll tell you what else. Round the front here, there's been quite a, well, not a big change, but a definite change to the shape. These plastic mouldings on the old car were like a real bump, a defined bump. Now it's smooth into the bodywork. Up here, there is a lip which greatly reduces wind noise, and it really does, because there's normally loads of wind noise in a G-Wagon. There's not now. There's a bit of rubber here. Rain used to sit down here, but this is stopping it somehow. And it probably also does some sort of aero for noise reduction. It's those tiny little changes that Mercedes have made to this car, which is all added up to make quite a big difference. What I wanted to say is that although the G-Wagon hasn't really changed, it is a light facelift if we're honest. The fact is that this shape has been around for, I don't know, 50 years, is it? Maybe, it feels like it. And I can't think of many other cars apart from the Porsche 911 that has done that, kept the same shape for all of that time. The Defender changed. That's the only car I could think of that had been the same shape for a very, very long time. What do you think? Is there any other cars that I can't think of that look the same as they always have done? I don't know. Meanwhile, the G63 and the G500, which would I go for? To be honest, both are great cars. This is probably the one that I would want to drive every single day though. I'll go with the 500.